My life pre-caring, I'm not even sure I even remember a lot of it, to be honest with you. This is my 11th year of caring. I was also a part-time carer for my father before that, so I have seen the both sides of sort of very young children in the caring role and obviously the very elderly. A usual day for me is up at 6, getting children out to school. My son attends special school, so he has a really, really early bus. And it's just getting children out to school and then becoming their personal assistant, basically. It is about managing all of their medical appointments, phoning all the people that you need to talk to, or replying to an email, doing paperwork. It's 100% round the clock. When you have particularly neurodivergent children, my son also has bowel disease, it is constant. It just does not matter what other things that you have to do in your day. You have to attend to them, and it's not their fault that they have these needs. But it is difficult to deal with at times when you're chronically exhausted. I lost my civil service career of 17 years because of my caring role, and 100% because of my caring role. I worked most of my career in criminal justice, and it was something that I really felt was making a difference in our communities in Northern Ireland. And even though I maybe only had a very small part of it, it really did mean something quite profound to me. When I was refused part-time working, despite all the efforts that I made to meet my workplace in a mutually beneficial role, when that was taken away from me, it definitely had a massive impact on my mental health. I felt like I had lost my entire identity as a civil servant. I suddenly had been thrust into this role that I really didn't know an awful lot about, which was the sort of full-time mum, except that I wasn't just a full-time mother, I was in my caring role then. I found that a very intensely difficult time in my life, and I'm not ashamed to say that I definitely had some suicidal thoughts during that time. I would never have acted upon them because my whole world was my children, and it still is. But I think it's really important that people are supported when needing to leave work or having to have a change of work. Even now, if I wished to try and become a civil servant again, I would still need those accommodations, and there is no chance of being hired. That meant going from 2 full-time wages to 1, which is a phenomenal amount of pressure for any family. That has made life very, very difficult for us. We have had to become, I call us the yellow sticker family. We have to budget down to the last penny, and we certainly at the moment have no leeway in our finances. And that is not us having any sort of extras, that is us literally just trying to exist and survive. Quite often we would have higher heating costs, maybe some other families, because if the children are up at night or if they're unwell, you know, the house has to be warm. And I know some people would say, oh, well, that happens with lots of families, but particularly with an acutely physically disabled child, it is a much larger cost to us. White goods, your tumble dryer, your washing machine, when you have someone in your house who has continence and bowel problems, my washing machine is never off. Christmas Day, my washing machine is still on. And I don't think people maybe even realise, you know, and people may say, oh, she's moaning about that, but I'm not. I'm just simply trying to convey some facts about my life. But certainly the financial aspect of losing a wage and not being able to replace that sort of through any other sort of financial means is really difficult. As I've mentioned before, our family does qualify for a small amount of universal credit, and the stigma around that, particularly I think in Northern Ireland, is huge. A lot of people don't want to admit to that, but I have absolutely no shame in saying I have paid into the social care system, and at the time of need, my family is entitled to receive from it. So I don't even get my carers allowance if I'm entitled to universal credit. And there are lots and lots of carers like me who aren't entitled to anything. But this is the system, this is the way the system is pushing people like me to live. And it is a complete trap, because once you're in it, it is exceptionally difficult to get out of it. Carers allowance has historically, and continues to be sadly, something of a pretend payment to me. It's simply the government saying, oh, well, we are doing our best to support carers, but I'm not sure how anybody thinks that I am being valued on around £2 an hour. And it is also unnecessarily bureaucratic. When you don't value someone on a financial basis, that just says everything about how the government feels about carers. You can't have it both ways. You can't say in the press and in Parliament, I watched them discuss it, you can't say you value me as an individual when you give me this allowance. And even the name allowance makes it sound like, oh, poor her, let's just throw her a few pounds and it'll all be okay. We called for, right throughout COVID, for there to be ring-fenced support, cost of living support given. That's never happened. Carers in themselves, if they didn't qualify for another benefit, carers got nothing and have got further and further behind. The levels of poverty, I think, that are evident even in my rural community amongst the caring population, of which I am very familiar with a lot of them, the levels of poverty are ridiculous. I think I would like to say, please stop with this virtue signalling. Please stop saying one thing and doing another. Please stop putting so much pressure on people that didn't choose this life. One of the things that I think government are acutely aware of but don't let on is that they recognise that the majority of us, the vast majority of us, are caring for a loved one, and we are never going to walk away from that responsibility. And I really do feel right down in my heart that they play upon that, because they know if we all threw our hands up tomorrow, their social care system in any region of the United Kingdom would collapse. But I don't think that's good enough to rely on the goodwill of us as a group.